in March, when the government said that restaurants and non-essential businesses needed to shut down, I'm about to start crying right now. It's scary. One part for me that gets triggered is I'm an immigrant from Ukraine, so I lived through Chernobyl. So when something huge happens like that and the government starts shutting down, etc., like PTSD sets in. And that was terrifying. Now, on top of that, being, a lifer, a chef, having owned my own restaurant in New York, and now being part of this group where I feel like this is, my home, this restaurant. Again, it's obviously in the back of your head logically, you're like, yes, my love is not being taken away. I have a way to fall back. We will come back. But the immediate shock of that is, one, anger. How dare you say that we're not essential? B is, just immediate, just being scared of what's next and why and how and what do we do and how do we come back? And it's just a lot of immediate, just boulders and boulders and boulders of stress and the unknown. So I think that was my initial reaction. A massive volcano of emotions and fear and hope, etc. But yeah. So when we were allowed to reopen May 15th, about 2 months after we've been closed, and our operations were shut down entirely for our business, it's very hard to tell. We wanted to get back to business immediately. It felt like maybe it was too soon, given the fact that maybe cases were still on the rise, the spread was still on the rise in a lot of other countries or the states surrounding us. Very strange, feeling. Yes, I can't wait to reopen, but at the same time, very conflicted about how do we protect ourselves? How do I protect my employees who are my family? How do I assure my customers that, yes, we are doing everything we possibly can? It's a lot to ask of a business to just go ahead. We've just been through we're in a pandemic. We don't really have any information for you. We don't actually know what's going on, but let's just open. Let's just see what happens. So that's kind of how it felt. So reopening was difficult regarding staffing. I would say about less than 50% came back. We were able to restaff completely with new employees that have been godsent. Very happy for them, hard workers. But yeah, even though we were only closed for 2 months and in business for 17 years, the reopening part, as far as staffing, felt like we're opening from scratch. So the guidelines for reopening that we're receiving from Ohio, from CDC, etc. First of all, I feel like they're changing every day. I feel like every day, I'm exaggerating every day, but it's there's something new that comes down constantly. I mean, the 6 feet, I understand. I'm lucky we have space to do that, but it hurts to see my brothers and sisters in the industry who don't have the ability to do 6 feet distancing. Again, there's the business aspect where you feel like you're being suffocated and strangled, and then there's the human aspect of trying to keep people safe. So, some of the regulations, I feel like there's restaurants and chefs who are taking everything, going above and beyond on making sure that the environment is safe, and there's others who are not taking this seriously. And this is causing the other people to be hit with more regulations than maybe there should be, And then on top of that, there's not enough information for the general public. So it's almost like it's up to the restaurant to educate the general public about what is safe and what is not, and how to behave in this situation. Because all you see on the news is panic. You don't see actual legitimate information that will help you feel safe as a human being. A restaurant's supposed to be where you go to relax and forget your problems. You're not supposed to come there and be hit with regulations and your temperature and this and this and this. We've turned into, like a healthcare facility that serves contactless food. It's a very strange adjustment, and no one feels comfortable. The go-ahead to open in May. Yes and no. I guess it's very hard to pick a side on this. At the end of the day, now that we have been, 2 months since we've opened, I can see that we can handle this. I can see that we can handle the reopening and the fear of it and the stress of it. Not very well. No, we've had many, many mental breakdowns. But I can see that at least my team took everything that they had in them to allow their chefs to work, to allow their employees to keep their jobs, to go above and beyond to address customer concerns. It wasn't an option to stay closed any longer. At the end of the day, life has to go on. Yes, we're in a pandemic. Yes, we have to adjust. But who knows how long for? This could go on for another year, 2. Who knows what's coming down the road? We don't have to be assholes about it and pretend it's not happening. It's happening. It's definitely happening. So we just have to adjust. I can't imagine a life without restaurants. I can't imagine a life without my customers, my cooks, my kitchen. So I'm gonna have to adjust to the pandemic, but find a way to keep going. So many challenges in the reopening stages. Some things that surprised me. Things that did not surprise me was, the cost of things going up and staffing. Things that did surprise me was maybe parts of the community that took advantage of the situation. I guess, I don't know, you'd call them like they're drama queens. They see a chance to stir something up and accuse people. And this is happening to a lot of different restaurants. And then seeing, we did as well, and other restaurants had to shut down on their own, for a couple of days here and there to do deep cleaning, etc. And seeing the reaction from the community. Some of it was positive, some of it was negative. But it got to me that you don't understand we're all going through all this at the same, my business is the same as your business. Everybody's going through this. Everybody's angry. And the lashing out at each other was what surprised me. I don't feel like the loan programs, the assistance to restaurants and businesses is adequate. I think, yes, some of it has definitely helped. The help was very much needed. I think there's much more help that we do need. I think the way it was allocated perhaps was not thought through, which is, I understand it's a very short time frame. Yes, we need money to pay our employees, but what about the overhead costs? It's kind of like food is not a bubble. It takes an entire universe to create that dish. Like you need a physical location, you need electric, you need water, you need purveyors, you have to pay the maintenance people. I mean, it literally is an entire universe, and you can't just be like, here's money to pay one line cook to make burgers. Like, what world are we living in where people are still think that that's all it takes to run a restaurant? Obviously grateful that there is assistance, and that is appreciated. I just kind of hope that as we move through this, we kind of look holistically at these businesses and understand what the real needs are, and not just throw this out there to look like a good guy, and then just kind of turn your back when it's done. Right now, we all need to show each other support. Definitely show support to people who are the businesses who are taking the time to not only comply with all the laws that they have to, but they're doing it because they love you. The customer, believe it or not, is someone that we as chefs and owners talk about all the time. I feel like the chef community has definitely come together. A lot of people, our regulars have basically saved us, and I think that's the same for a lot of restaurants. Fear is very powerful, and knowledge is very powerful. And right now, we are lacking knowledge, and so our fear level is incredibly high. So I think we all need to realize this fact and just take your time, get educated, and don't let that fear control the way you approach your community. And then just have more trust, just trust that the people that you've spent your money with for decades are still looking out for your best interest, even through all of this. So I think a little bit more trust and a little less fear is what we need right now. It's very scary to think about what happens in the winter on a regular day. Before pandemic, when the winter is coming, we have a discussion with everybody, winter is coming. Now that we're at half capacity, we're in August, we're already thinking, what are we gonna do? Not only to make sure that our staff has jobs so we don't have to lose them, but how are we gonna handle, our customers that don't have enough seating? We are expanding into other areas of like maybe doing a tented patio. So basically what this has done to us is made us rework our model. The way we actually function, how we look at seating, how we the prognosis that we have for ourselves for winter and what we're going to do then. We're doing building plans and construction, and this is not what anybody planned. And usually you expand because you want to and you're able to. This is out of necessity. Not just to save our business, but to continue giving our customers a place to go. We feel like this is our life and our home, but so many customers come there, several times a week. This is their home. The bartender is their friend. The chef is the best person in their life who makes them that homemade food that they know. It's an entire universe community that, it's hard to take one aspect of it and talk about that without talking about everything else.